Okay, this is Word 2016. And if you want to make a table, there are actually 4 ways to do it. I'm just going to do 3 ways because the 4th way I never use. So this is what I usually do to do a table. I click on Insert, Table. And when you click on Table, you get a drop down. You get grids, you get Insert a Table, you get Draw a Table. I never use Draw a Table. You can insert an Excel spreadsheet and you can use quick tables. We're going to look at drawing the table first. The first is drawing a table with the grids. I'm going to make my table. You'll see I'm going to go over from the drop down and I'm going to make it 3 columns, 4 rows. And that's how easy it is to do a table. Now I'm going to show you how to do a table a different way. I'm going to make sure, though, you see my flashing cursor? I'm going to make sure it's away from that table. You have to be very, very careful when you do tables because you can nest a table in a table if you're not paying attention. So always pay attention, always know where your flashing cursor is. So I'm going to click on Insert again. I'm going to click on Table, and I'm going to go to Insert Table. And it brings up a screen that many of you have probably seen, especially if you are not Downers Grove, if you are Word users from a long time ago. This is a screen that you always made the table with. So how much number of columns? Columns are what goes across, they go vertically. I'm just going to go with 3. So I'm going to just put this down to 3 and I'm going to make it 5 rows. And I could make it any way I want. If I wanted to click down here, I can change it to 3 or whatever, but I usually use auto, just easier. Auto fits the contents, auto fits the window, and I could remember this, but usually I don't. So I just click on OK. And then I have the exact same table as I had before. But first time I drew it with a grid, the second time I inserted it. So another way you can do tables, I'm going to look at my cursor, move it down. I'm going to click on Insert again, go to Tables. And in this case, I'm going to forget about the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to go to Quick Tables. Quick Tables is very nice because it's already formatted for you. So this is for, I can pick any one I want. I think I'll pick this one. So this is a quick table. And when I click on it, I have already a header. This is your header row. This is like an Excel spreadsheet. I have my first column and I have my first column headers and then column headers and row headers. And then I just insert this. So if I wanted to, I can change this to city or town. I'm going to just make this sales, make it a little bigger, sales person. And then QA, Q1. Get to the next. These are called cells. To get to the next cell, it's a lot like Excel. You just click the Tab key. If I wanted to go back, maybe I made a mistake and I say, oh, I want to go back. You hold down the Shift and click the Tab key at the same time. So then you can go back. But I'm going to go forward. I'm going to click the Tab key. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key, go to Q2, Tab, Q3, Tab, Q4, and I'm going to make this a total row. And I'm going to show you something. Okay, so I've got salesperson, and then I'm just going to change this to Ed, make it really quick. Dawn, Renee, and I'm going to get rid of these 2 rows. Well, I'll get rid of one of the rows. So to get rid of a row, you're going to notice at the very top of your screen, there's different ways to do this. At the very top of your screen, anytime you're clicked in a table, I'm going to click out of it. When I'm clicking out of the table, And this is, I'm gonna move this because I can't see. Okay. When I click out of a table,
We have a question.
yeah,
But you didn't miss anything. Jan wants to know if she missed importing Excel. We didn't import Excel yet.
no, but I can do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think of importing it to Excel. Oh, well, I'll have to think about that. I wasn't gonna do that, but I'll think of something. Okay, so I've clicked off of the table. So when you look at the very top of your screen, this is called your quick access toolbar, and under the quick access toolbar, you're gonna see something called the ribbon. Anytime you click into a table, what happens is table tools come up. And this will be with anything in Word or any of the Office products. These are things that can help you. So if I click on table tools, I click on design, and it's going to give me design. And if I click here, I can change the design. Maybe I want it to be green. I can make it green. I don't think so. I'm going to do an undo. Don't like that. So there's other things I can do. Right here, it says I have a header row. I can have a total banded row. You can play with this. I can have a last column total if I wanted that. That looks pretty neat. I can click on all these things to change it. I can also shade different things if I wanted to. I can add border styles. I usually don't do that. I usually just pick. I'm very vanilla. I just usually pick the first one, black and white. I sort of like banded rows, I have to say.
Annie,
Could
you possibly change the view to page width? It'll make it a little bit larger, easier to see what you're up to.
I can make this.
No, if you go up to view and then page width, it'll do it for you automatically.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have all these things that I can do when I click on the table tools, the design, and also the layout. So when you click on the layout, this is one that I use the most. Like if I wanted to get rid of the grid lines. So let's say I don't want these grid lines there for some reason. I'm just gonna highlight the whole table. To highlight the whole table, there's this little tool right here. You just click on it and it highlights the whole table. It looks like a square. So
Square with a plus sign.
yes, instead of dragging in anything, you just click there, highlights the whole table. And I'm just going to get rid of the grid lines. So I'm going to go back to the design thing, design tab. I'm going to click on borders and I'm going to have no borders. So now I have no borders and I can't see what's in my table. I know it's a table because I have table properties. So one thing that you want to do, and I don't use borders a lot, so I usually click on view grid lines. When I click on view grid lines, I can see my table, but it won't print, but I can see it. So just so you see that this isn't going to print, I'm just going to put some nonsense in here. And then I'll just get rid of the last row. To get rid of the last row, I can click here from the layout. If I wanted to, I can click on delete rows, or I'm just going to undo that. If I wanted to, I could right click on it. And when I right click on it, and it's not coming up, when I right click on it, which isn't working now, you'll get a menu and the menu will say, what do you want to do? And basically you click on delete rows, but I'm just going to do it from here because it's not coming up here, which is fine. I'm going to click on delete and I'm going to delete the row. Okay, so now I'm going to see if what this would look like if I printed it. So I'm going to hold down the control key and click the P key. That gives you your print screen. Can you see the print?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see up here, I have put on view grid lines, but you can't see the grid lines. I can see them and you can see them, but when you print it, you can't see them. So that's basically what I do. And that's an easy way for you to align things. I use tables a lot for alignment. We are going to look at that today, but you're going to notice, and I'm going to do another screen share. When you download things from the internet, okay, and I'm going to do a new share and I'm going to show you something. I downloaded a resume from the internet. And this basically is a table. So you may not know this. So when you download something from the internet and you say, how come I can't get this to work? Look at the ribbon. If you see table tools, that means that this is a table. And in this case, if I wanted to, I could go on to view, actually layout, view grid lines, and then I can see. When I click on view grid lines, I can see this is a table. They won't print, but I can see them, and then I can do different things. I can align them, and then I can change things. So always look for that when you are downloading stuff from the internet and you say, what's wrong with this?
Yes.
Sue and I have a lot of times Sue and I will be helping people at the library and they'll say, well, I can't work with this. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? Usually it's a table that they've downloaded from the internet and that's why they can't use it. So always look up here. And if you click on anything, it says table tools, then you know, oh, okay, it's a table, and then turn on the view grid lines. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Annie, where is the table tools that we would see it if it was a table? I see layout.
I'm seeing table tools.
Yes. See right here? Can
Oh,
you
I
see
see it
above?
now. Okay.
Yeah.
I had-
Anytime you click on it, table tools is going to come up.
Okay, there was a ribbon that said recording, so it was covered by that. So, okay.
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
that.
And you can move that ribbon. All you have
I
to do
just
is,
did.
yeah, you just move it around. So I had to move my ribbon because I can't see it. Okay. So I'm going to go back and share another screen. Okay. So we created our 3 tables. And just going to show you how to add some rows. So I'm going to click on new share. And which one shall I do? Don't know. Maybe I'll go back to this one. Okay. So now if I wanted to add rows to this, so I got a new salesperson. So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to click on insert. I'm going to go to layout and I'm going to click on insert above. And that allows me to add a row above. I can also do insert below. So let's say I've got a new salesman, George. Spelled it wrong. And I'll put 56, doesn't matter. Okay, so I've got a new salesman. So I've inserted that above. Let's say I'm just putting in information and I'm at the very end of my table. If I'm at the very end of my table, I want to add things, I just hit the tab key and it gives me a new row. So then I can put Eddie or whatever. So that's how you add things. You either insert in within the table or you add to the bottom of the table. One thing that you can do with Word is you can sort. It's not as robust as Excel. So you've got to think of how am I going to use this? How am I going to use the table? If you're doing alignment, I would use the table. If you were doing a lot of information that had to be sorted and you had to add formulas in, I would think about putting it into Excel. Excel allows you to sort by as many things as you want to. We're going to sort in a minute and you're going to see that Word will only let you sort by 3 things, which in most cases, it may be fine. Also, you can do formulas in tables, but when you do formulas in tables, it's very limited. So I'm going to do a new share. I'm going to show you that. So is this the one I did? No, this isn't it. No, this isn't. I'm trying to get a new share and I can't see what I'm doing. Text to tables, quotes. Okay, so this is my new share. And let me make this fit the screen like Joe said. View page width. Okay. So now I have this table and I want to add some formulas. So I'm going to hit the tab key. I'm going to take my cursor and go to the last row, hit the tab key, and then I'm just going to type total. And then I'm going to go to my third row. In table tools, in the layout tab, you can click on formulas and you can do a formula. But notice right here, it says it will do above. You can't like put things in there. And you probably could if you knew what you were doing, but this is simple. So I'm just going to say, okay. And it puts the formula in for me. So it's very easy to do. And then I can make this, I'm going to highlight this and I can go to design and I can go to shading and maybe I'll make it yellow just so people can see it. So it's a little different. So I've got a yellow shading and I've made everything. So it will do a formula for you. I don't like it this way. So I'm going to get rid of the that. And then I'm going to go back to home and I'll make it. I like my formulas right justified. One thing that it doesn't do very well, so I'm going to click in here and I'm going to click on insert. Under the layout tab, I'm going to insert above and I'm going to put in a new person. I'll put Elaine. And she's from Dallas, Texas. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Notice it did not automatically update the sum. If you wanted to do that, what you would have to do is you'd have to go to formula again and then click OK. So if you were using the Excel spreadsheet, it would automatically update the sum for you. So it is a little wonky, but it's fine. If you need to do something, you could do it very, very quickly. There are formulas in there and it looks nice and everything's aligned. So it's fine. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. So we added columns, we added rows. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do a sort. And I'm going to do a new share. Do this one. Okay, so you can actually sort a table. You can either have it sorted with headers or without headers. This is one that I don't have headers on and I'm going to sort it. And if this was really something that I would do, I would actually probably have either Frank, Ann, or I would have 2 different columns. I'd have Ann under first name, Frank under last name, but I didn't do it that way. So I'm just going to sort this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to table tools is up. I'm going to go to layout. And under the data group up here, it's the sort. I'm going to sort and it's going to bring up a sort screen. And you're going to notice that you can only sort by 3 things. And also right here, I'm going to say, okay, I don't have a header row. If I did have a header row, I would click on header row, and the first row by default, it would not sort into the table, but I don't have a header row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort this descending by column. And if I had 2 things in there, I could do it by column 2. Since it doesn't have a header row, it's just going to put column 1, column 2. So I'm going to click on OK, and it's going to resort it for me. And it did it descending because I had it ascending, but if I wanted to do it back, or let's say here, I just want to do it by the quotes. I'm going to click on sort, and I'll make it ascending my quotes. And maybe I don't even want this column. I'll just say none, and I'll click on OK. So it brought it back. Now, if I was going to do it with a header, and I'm going to do a new share. I'm going to look for something with the header, and I know I had it up there. Share. No, but I'll get rid of this. So I'm going to get rid of this total row just so it doesn't delete row. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to do a share, and I need a header. This is the one I want. I need a header. I'll just do. Okay, this one has a header. So I'm going to do header. Move this away. I'm going to click here again. I'm going to click in the table. I'll click in the first cell. I'm going to click in layout. I'm going to go to sort. Now it has a header. What I'm going to do is put a header row. So it doesn't take the first row and put it with the sort, which I don't want it to do. And I'll sort by, maybe I want to sort by, instead of salesperson, I'll sort by Q4. And then I'll do it ascending and click OK. So you can put up to 3 things that you can sort by. So if you need to sort by more than 3 things, I would learn Excel. Excel also allows you to filter. You can also make something called a pivot table that will really, really help you. You can do a report with it. So Word has tables. I use them all the time. I use them a lot for aligning. But if you need to use something for sorting, if you need to have like a address book or something like that, I would use Excel. The principles are the same, but you can sort by so many different things with Excel. You can only sort by 3 things with Word. So think about it. When you're doing something, think, would this be the best way to do it? Just because you've always used tables or if you always use Word, think about it though, before you do something. And you can always take a table that you did in Word and put it into Excel. So any questions? This is on page 6 and 7 of your books, by the way.
No questions.
Okay, and page 9 is totaling your tables. Okay, now I'm going to create an alignment table. So I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to do another share. And maybe I'll just do this one. I'll just do. Can you see a blank screen?
No, we're seeing Caleb in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay. Okay, so I just might. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an alignment table. And this is what I usually use Word for. I like everything when I put things into a Word, I like it to look nice. So I like it to align. And a lot of times people use columns. We're going to talk about columns toward the end of the class, but I think columns are very wonky. So I'd rather use tables. So I'm going to click on insert and I'm going to click on tables. And this is how I usually do it. I just pick something from the download from the menu that comes down. So I've got 2 cells that are the same width. And in the first one, I'm going to click on insert. I'm going to go to online pictures. And can you see
Yes,
pop-up screen? So I'm going to go to
Yes.
Bing and I'll just do cats. Get a picture of a cat. That's a cute cat. I'm going to click on insert. It'll come up. Okay, there he is. Okay, there's a cute little cat. And I'm going to make him a little smaller just so you can see how I do this. So I've got this smaller cat. And then I'll just put cat. And I'll make this as big as I need to. So I'm just going to double click once to highlight. And I'm just going to make this very, very big. So I'm going to on the home tab, you have this little tool that's a big A and it makes it as big as you can. So I've got him, maybe make him a little bigger. Now I want to align him. And I'm also going to get rid of the,
grid lines.
grid lines. So I'm going to align him, and what comes up with table tools, you got picture tools that come up, so I could change the picture. I'm just going to leave him the way he is, though. That's another class. So I'm going to go to layout. And right here, you have alignment tools. I'm going to click on the first one. First of all, I'm going to select the whole table. I'm going to click on the 1, 2 under here. And so I've aligned the cat with the word cat. And now I'm going to get rid of my grid lines. So I'm going to go to design. I'm going to click on borders and I'm going to click on no border. So if I do a Control P, which I'm going to do, you can see you see the print?
Yes,
Okay, you can see that I have aligned cat and I've aligned the image. So I use this a lot just because I think it looks nicer than if I had columns. We are going to look at columns. They don't work as well. So I've aligned it. I'd probably put cat first and then the picture of the cat, but that's okay. So any questions?
no,
Okay, that's on page 11 of your books. Okay. A lot of times you need to fix a table. There's something wrong with it. So you can do this fairly easy, and I'm going to do a new share. Quotes. Okay, so I have this quotes table that I made, and I said, So I go down and I'm looking at this and I say, oh, this Thomas Edison is getting cut off. So how can I fix that? It's fairly easy to fix. Wait a minute, I want to. Okay, it's fairly easy to fix. I can just right click on it, or I can click on layout. That's layout, and I can find table properties right here, and I can click on it. I usually just right click on it, which I'm going to do. So I right click on the row that I don't like, and it's not coming up for some reason. So I am going to use the one that right here, table properties from the ribbon. Click on it and it brings up a screen. And then I go to row. You can go to table, you can set up the table. I go to row and I uncheck allow row to break across the page. Then I click OK. And now it automatically made it into the next page. So sometimes it just doesn't work right. So if it doesn't work right, this is in your book on page 13. Think about doing that so that it looks nice. So this looks a lot nicer than having Thomas Edison, just like two widows, you know, 2 lines on one page, another line in another page. So you can do that. Just right click on the row and just unclick that and you can fix your table. Any questions?
No,
Okay. Sweet line text within a table. Okay. This is on page 16 of your books. It's called merging cells. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge a cell just so you see how it looks. In Excel, we tell you not to do this, but in Word, you can because it isn't, you can't really do as much with Excel. Excel never merges cells because your table won't work right. But in Word, you can do it. I'll just go back to right here. I'm going to do a new share and I'm going to add a cell to the top. This doesn't have a header, so that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Table Tools. I'm going to go up to Layout, and I'm going to click on Insert Above. And it's going to give me a header, but I don't want a header really. I just want everybody to know what this is. So in the first cell, I'm going to type sales by district. And I want this to be over the whole table. So I'm going to highlight all the 3 cells. And I'm going to go to the layout and it says merge cells, split table. I'm going to click on merge cells. Now it merged everything and it made everything go to the right. Don't want that. I'm going to click on the home tab. I'm going to change it to center. I'm also going to click 1, 2, 3 times to highlight the whole thing. I'm going to make it bold and from the table tools, I'll go to design and I'll add some shading. And maybe this time I'll make it light blue. So that's how you merge cells. And in most cases in Word, you're not going to have to worry about it. It looks nice. If you want your table to look nice, don't be afraid to merge cells. But in Excel, don't ever do that. Any questions?
no,
Okay. Okay, sometimes you're going to
Annie?
want to, yeah.
Question. Okay, you said not to do a merge cell in Excel.
Excel.
Why would that, what?
You don't do a merge cell in Excel because Excel has a lot of things in it that it does automatically. If you wanted to total a row and you have a merge cell, it actually cannot do it. So a lot of people put merge cells in because they think, oh, it's going to look pretty. Don't do that. If you want something to look pretty, use pivot tables. Excel should be very, very vanilla. You should have a column, and under the column, you should have, like, if you have name, you should have first name, you have everybody's first name. Then last name, everybody's last name. You don't want to say, oh, I want this to look pretty, so I'm going to merge a cell here, merge a cell there. Then the automatic things that Excel does, it can't do. So that's why you don't want to merge cells in Excel, because you're not letting Excel work its magic. So just if you want something to look nice, think about using pivot tables. Pivot tables are getting very, very easy to use. the newer versions of Excel 2013 and above, they actually will make pivot tables for you if you just have a table. So think about using pivot tables rather than looking at a spreadsheet and saying, well, I'm going to make it look pretty, so I'm going to merge this, do that and that. It won't work right. So that's why you don't want to use Excel, merge anything in Excel. But in Word you can, because Word is not as robust as Excel. If you're using a lot of dollars and cents and something, don't use Word. Use Excel. You can always import it into Word. Okay, any more questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Converting a table to text. This doesn't always work right, but in this case, I know it's going to work right because I practice. So I know it's going to work right. They picked the right one. So this one. Okay. Now this is converting Word to text. Actually, I think this is the one I did. Okay. So I'm going to share this. I'm going to get rid of this right here. Well, I guess I could leave it. Let's see how this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this to a text. And I think I'll get rid of the merge cell I just added. I'm going to right click on it. It's not going to work. So I'm going to go to layout. I'm going to click on delete. I'm going to delete the row. Okay. So here, what I want to do is I have this and I say, you know, I want to convert this to text. So you can do that with a table. It doesn't always work right, but in this case, it's going to work right. So you click in the table, you go to layout. From the data group on your ribbon, you're going to see convert to text. You're going to click on that, and it's going to ask me, what do you have that is between this? Well, I do have paragraph marks or tabs. Every time you go into another cell in a table, you hit the tab key. So I'm going to leave this at tabs, but you can try it with other things. And I'm going to click OK. And it's automatically going to put it into basically columns for you. So if you, for some reason, needed to have this out of a table, you can convert it into a table. It doesn't always work right. But in this case, I knew it was going to work right because I practiced, but it doesn't always work right. But you don't have to retype it though. So if I did it in the quotes, I'm going to undo this. I'm going to do another share. I'm going to show you where it doesn't work right, but at least I don't have to type it. Is I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to convert to text and I'm going to say tabs. And this doesn't work right, but that's okay. I can play with it. Maybe so it's on the same line. I don't really like it, but at least I don't have to retype the whole thing. So sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does, and you don't have to retype the whole thing. So I'm gonna do an undo on this. You can also take something and put it into a table if you put it in right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, I'm going to do another share. Okay, so I decide that I want to take this text and I'm going to make it into a table. I could have tabbed between all this text, but I thought, I'm just going to put commas in. So I put a comma between what I wanted this table to be. So I have commas in here. So I decided I want to make this into a table. I'm going to click in front of the E for employee. I'm going to click on, where is this? Insert. I'm going to click on table. And I'm going to click on before. I'm going to highlight this. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to highlight all the text that I want to insert into a table. I'm going to click on table. I'm going to go to convert text to table. It's going to bring up the screen. And it's going to ask me, well, how many columns do you want? Well, I have 2 columns, so I'm going to make it 2 columns. Number of rows is grayed out because it's going to be dependent on how much text I highlighted. So do I want fixed? I'm going to say yeah. So what separates these? Well, when I put it in, I put in a comma. So I'm going to put commas, click OK, and it makes a table for me. You could also use tabs or any other thing. Any questions?
No,
Okay. So that is on page 17 through page 19. It's fairly easy to do, but if you wanted to do that, you'd have to put something. You'd have to put either a comma or a tab. Okay. Any questions so far?
no,
One thing that we haven't done is put in an Excel spreadsheet, and that's been asked for. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Excel, which I didn't have. I'm opening up now. I'll do a new share. Okay, you see the Excel spreadsheet?
yes.
Okay, I'll just put one in.
Just take one of the practice ones there's there.
Yeah, I have a totally different group. I didn't. I have
Oh.
I wanted to see if the other one, because we get feedback I'm using a different computer. Okay. I'll just do it this way. Sales district. And I'll just put in. I'm putting in this is an Excel spreadsheet. I'm just doing it really quick. Okay, I'm going to save this. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to go to Browse because I want it space, this computer. I don't want to do this again. Put in space. I'm going to call this 2022 03
10.
10. Thank you. Excel. Save. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to,
Oh, we got a chat.
okay.
Does Google Docs have a table feature that is anything like the one in Word?
Yes. It also has pivot tables if you're going to use sheets. So it has both of them. So we are going to have a Google Docs class. I don't know when, but we are going to have one, and that's a good idea. I'll go through that in Google Docs. It does have it. So it's, I like Google Docs. It's sort of wonky sometimes. You got to think differently. Things don't always work the same. To me, Google Docs is like an older version of Word, and they do keep improving it. So that's great. They added pivot tables. They keep adding new things to it. So it is working better. I have to say, my favorite is still the desktop version of Word. I'm not in love with Office 365. There's a lot you can't do with it. Like it's very, when you want to put arrows and stuff like it doesn't work really well. So, but you can upload it. So, and that's what a lot of things I do. Most of the things I do with Google, I do hybrid. I maybe do snipping tools. And if you don't know how to do a snip tool, I'll send it to you. But you make a snapshot, and I do everything, all the images in Word, and I put them into Google Docs because Google Docs doesn't work as well with images. So I do a hybrid. So, but you may not want to do it that way, and that's fine. So what am I doing? Oh, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to insert an Excel spreadsheet. And let's see, I haven't practiced this in a long time, so let's see if I can do it. I'm going to make sure that my cursor is out of the table. Because if you don't, if your cursor is in the table and you insert something, it's going to put the table in a table, it's going to nest it, doesn't look good. Doesn't work right either. So I'm going to click on insert table, and I'll do Excel spreadsheet. And it's making me put an Excel spreadsheet in, but I know that I can import one.
Go to file, right?
I think so. Well, I don't know. I haven't done this in a while, and I didn't practice this. So I got rid of that. So I'm going to go up and tell me what you want to do. This is very helpful. Import Excel spreadsheet. Let's see if it lets me do that. It's giving me this. Okay, I'm gonna have to find out how to do that. I know how to do it. I've done it before, but I'm gonna have
Look
to
and
find
see
out.
if you go to file, if you can do important from file.
I've got export. I don't have
Oh.
import.
All right, then go back to Excel and export it to Word.
Let's see if I can do that.
Mhm. You know, it used to have, in 16, it used to have a thing where you could share, you know, do that share thing.
Mm-hmm.
File.
It wants me to do a PDF or an X, which is, it's not gonna export
What
it.
about if you did to change the file type? Can you do it there and change it to?
No, it's
Okay.
gonna, it wants me to. Workbook.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, it's not gonna let me. But I'll find out how to do it because I know you can do it. You could always do a snip though, but I know that you could do it. So sorry about that. But when you click on it, obviously you can make an Excel spreadsheet in a Word document. So, but I don't know, I would think that you'd want to make it in Excel, and then if you updated it, which I don't know, I'll have to look into that. So I'm
Annie?
sorry. Uh-huh.
You can simply copy and paste from Excel into Word directly. You don't have to go through all of that.
Yeah, I know you can do that, but I thought like I could go like this. And then I could make it a Word. You're right. I didn't even think about that. So copy. But if you wanted something to update automatically, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go into my share. I did this in Excel. Going to go here. It did do it. But if you wanted something to be linked, that's what I'm thinking. So I want my Excel spreadsheet to be embedded in that and linked to it. So if my Excel spreadsheet changes, my Word would change. So Ron, I did do that, and it did come in, and it did come in as a table. So it did automatically. So that's a good thing. And thanks for bringing that up. So it did come in as a table. So if I wanted to, I could click in here, and I could go to layout or design, and if I wanted it to be pretty, I could do that. I could change the design, I could change the shading. And I could add other things to it. So that's true. I could copy and paste, but it wouldn't be dynamic. So I'm going to have to see if there's a way that you could do it that way, which I think there is. So I'll get back to you with that. Thank you, Ron. Any more questions? Okay, I'm going to show you how to do columns. I'm not in love with columns, and you can do columns in Google Docs. This week, I had to help circulation because they had everything, which I would have put in a Google sheet, but they didn't. They have this huge thing that somebody put in columns, and it was like, oh my gosh. And they wanted everything aligned. And it was like, oh, so don't do that. If you want something that you're going to be sorting a lot, think about putting it in Excel, or you could put it in Word if you tables, but this thing, it was huge. They'd done it before and they put it in columns. I was like, why did you do that? But that's okay. So now they have to insert all the time. It's nutty. I'm going to click on new share and I'm going to show you how to do columns, because sometimes you want to do columns. Sometimes it works for you. So I'm going to click on, where did I put the columns? I don't see where I did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new. Okay. Okay, so this is a new share, and I want to thank Joe for telling me this probably about 15 years ago, how to do this, what I'm going to do now. I'm going to add some random text. You can also add lorem ipsum text, and maybe I'll do that to a document. So this is just placeholder text. Okay, so I just added placeholder text. And you can also add random text, and I'll send you how to do it. You put in equal, rand, and then you put in how many paragraphs and how many words in a paragraph you want. And you could add text to something if you don't want to type it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right before the lorem. I'm going to click on insert. I think it's insert. Look here. No, I'm going to go to layout. And from the layout, you've got page setup. I'm going to go to columns. By default, you have one column. I can go to 2. I can go to 3. I can go to left, right, so that it makes the left one a little bit smaller than the right one. I can go to right, left. I also can go to more columns, and I can change it to anything I want. So if I wanted maybe 3 columns, number of columns, I'll make it 5 columns. And I'll put a line between. And that's how it's going to look. So columns are nice, but if you want to sort something, I wouldn't put them in columns. But it makes your document look very nice. And you're going to notice when you download newsletters and something like that, a lot of them do use columns. There are no column tools, so they don't come up. So if I wanted to change this, I'll change this back to, that's not going to let me. I got to change this back. I have to go back here and I can change it to that. That's on page 20 of your book. And that's about it. Do you have any other questions? Is anything that I didn't go through that you thought that I should have? Tables are very nice, and I have to tell a story. When I first started, this is over like this is like 30 years ago. I was looking for a job and I knew how to use tables. So I got so many job offers because a lot of people didn't know how to use tables. So it is gonna, if you are looking for a job, if you know how to use tables, it will really help you, especially if you're looking for a job and you're downloading anything from the internet, a resume. It's gonna help you if you know, first of all, the table tools comes up when you are looking at tables and how to manipulate it. Otherwise, you're going to be lost. So I use tables a lot in what I do. I've used them for years and they're not going to go away. And you're going to notice from the internet tables. And the other thing that is going to be there a lot are text boxes, because text boxes float above the paper and they're not, so you can move them around. So you're going to notice if you use a lot of templates that you're going to have text boxes and tables. So it's nice to know how to use them, especially for alignment. So if you don't have any more questions, we are going to have, as I said before in the beginning, if you haven't heard, in May and June, we're going to start in-house classes. So look for them. They're not going to be as big as they used to be. We used to have 12 people. They're going to only be 6. So, but we are going to have, people facilitating your learning. So if you want to sign up for that, please do. We also are still going to have some virtual classes. So look at discoveries and look at our website. Okay, thank you for attending. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to be sending you some stuff. So please look at your email. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you.
You too, and thank you.